This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Hi, I'm Stu Duncan, Northeast Area Extension Crops and Soil Specialist with Kansas State University, based out of Manhattan, Kansas. Here at the Kansas River Valley Fall Field Day at the Rossville unit. And tonight we visited about when does it pay to spray fungicides on your corn or your soybeans. And there was a lot of background. The whole purpose of a fungicide is to stop a disease. There are certain fungicides that have a stay green effect with them, and so that is another drawing point or a selling point on them. Over the time, as we have looked at these, though, the results have been really mixed. You need to have a host that's susceptible. You need to have a hybrid, or in cases of soybeans, a variety that is susceptible to the disease. And in our case, most of what we looked at was gray leaf spot in corn. There was soybeans, very rare. We had very rarely infestations of soybean diseases. Maybe a little frogeye leaf spot, but not much. So we mostly concentrated on the corn tonight. Gray leaf spot is our major disease in Kansas right now. We start scouting for that, well, 2 to 3 weeks prior to tasseling. And so a good scouting program is very critical to this. Planting a resistant hybrid is also critical. Also, our farming practices have changed so much that we have a lot more residue left at the start of the next cropping season. We have a lot more continuous corn, and both of those will contribute to gray leaf spot in our following corn crop the next year, because the disease can survive on the residue and then splash and blow up in the field if the weather conditions are right, or the environment. High humidity, warm temperatures, moist conditions, and when we're under irrigation, we can keep it pretty moist most of the time. Our results have shown, and very similar to what researchers in other states have shown, that if we don't have a high level of disease, rarely will it pay us to spray our corn for a gray leaf spot suppression. Off and on, we've had pretty good responses, and actually, usually when the price has been better, we haven't seen the magnitude of responses or the consistency that we see when our prices have been lower. And as I think about that, many times our prices are higher because our conditions and growing conditions are not as good, where we've had some of our best responses over our break-even costs. And we just we figured the break-even yields as the bushels per acre is going to fluctuate from year to year, again depending on cost. When we've had our lowest prices, we've actually, the 2014 and 2015, we've had more yields go above the break-even cost, the percentage-wise, with our fungicide treatments than when we had high prices. So essentially, in our best growing conditions, that's when we've seen our most consistent responses. Still not real high, not what I would like to see them, but anywhere from 30 to 60% is about what we've seen for a consistent response above break-even price, that includes the cost of fungicide and application, essentially is what it is. That's just another variable input cost that goes into our corn budget. We've had a lot more issues getting a consistent response out of soybeans. And in southeast Kansas, so many of the cooperators down there and closer to the Missouri River, they feel like they're getting a good response because they're getting some insect control. We haven't been able to achieve much of a response, including an insecticide and the spray treatment, maybe a little positive yield response, but that additional $7 to $10 an acre that goes on with the insecticide and with the fungicide, we just haven't been able to recoup that on a consistent basis.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.